We're sitting here in the DXDT number 36 Corvette Z06 GT3R. The hand control system that Bosch and Pratt Miller have designed for us to be able to run this whole program. It looks complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. Here is how Robert will activate his brakes. You can use one hand, it's kind of on a cantilever system, and that's what he does when he drives. I believe he'll use his right hand to activate the brakes so he can downshift. We have this damper system up here that we can kind of tune in feel for him, and it gives him the feeling of like a foot brake pedal. Down here is on the same kind of cantilever system. This is his throttle pedal. He can use, again, whichever one. Here, this button is really the major button that switches back and forth between the system. It's completely seamless. When I first drove it in Sebring, I wanted to be able to drive with both systems, and I couldn't believe that you just press the button and it's immediate. There's no delay. You can press it and the throttle's active. You press it off and it's not, and it's just really cool how that works. But when the hand controls are off, it gives you a prompt here on the dash, big red, like, hey, they're off. What that does is it deactivates the throttle pedal, which is pretty important because when Robert is in the car, his foot is pretty much wide open throttle on the pedal. And if this system's not off, he's just gonna go. Go back to hand controls on, and now this handbrake is pretty cool. It feeds pressure back through the actual master cylinder of the car. So when I press it, the actual brake pedal moves. Now, the reason that is, if the Bosch system were to fail and Robert needs to stop the car, he can just use this handbrake and it works just as you and I were to step on the pedal. So one of the main differences between the way, say, Robbie or Tommy are gonna drive, the brake bias that is set for, say, Tommy or able-bodied drivers, it's through a mechanical linkage that actually goes to the pedal box, and it moves a bar back and forth, a balanced bar, and you can change the brake bias that way. Well, Robbie can't really do that, so the way Bosch has developed that, he actually has brake bias buttons on this pod where all the other controls are, and you can change it through the system that way. It gives you kind of a little readout on the dash, shows you where it goes. Other than the stuff you see here and the actual components that are this giant handbrake that's obvious, the entire car kind of works exactly like the rest of the Corvettes in the paddock. And that's really the meat and potatoes of everything. It's very complicated, but also very simple and very cool.